Welcome, everybody. It's great to be with you today. I am Charles Cook. I am the founding partner of Cook Baxter, no longer the managing partner. That'd be my buddy Dustin. It is great to be with you today. We've got a lot of very interesting things to talk about today. Leading, of course, off with the amount of litigation that is going on around the United States on immigration. There is so many lawsuits being filed against Trump. It's unbelievable. The man is a one-man lawyer employer. That's what this guy is. I would love to have a president who doesn't need lawyers. Wouldn't that be totally awesome? I'm the president who doesn't need lawyers. We talked last week a little bit in Spanish. This week, of course, is in English, and I'll answer any Spanish questions. Contestaré cualquier pregunta en español al fin. But think about this. Trump has been sued 13,000 times this year just on petitions for writ of habeas corpus. This is because he's illegally holding people. 13,000 times. 5,000 since January 1. In a month, 5,000 petitions for habeas corpus around the United States. That's insane. We've filed probably a couple hundred of these around the United States, mostly in the Middle District of Georgia. We won every case. Most people are winning. I think there's 30 out of the 5,000 that have lost, just because you get some random judges that, for whatever reason, they don't agree with us, even though we're right. And that's just in the little narrow area of Trump illegally detaining people. Think about that. Think about what it would be like if he wasn't illegally detaining people. We could actually be working on other cases too. But let's talk about some of those cases. The first, even though this probably won't interest a lot of you, I am part of litigation along with my friends at Impact on Trump's $100,000 H-1B fee. Now, this fee is only for people outside the United States, not for people inside the United States that are changing status, which seems like a massive loophole to me, but who am I? I didn't make the rule up. We're suing because the president's not allowed to put a fee on something that Congress hasn't authorized. It's called a tax, and he can't do that. We filed in the Northern District of California. Oral argument in our case is on the 26th of February. I suspect we'll have a decision from the court sometime before April 1st, is my guess. I think we're going to win. I think the case is solid. I know a similar case was filed in Washington, D.C. by the U.S. Chamber of Commerce, and they lost. And I think they lost because they brought their suit prematurely and they didn't have any declarations of harm. So I don't see, they're on appeal. I don't know, but I think legally the president can't do what we did. I think the judge was wrong in that case. That's the first item, the first thing. The second lawsuit is for our friends that we helped out in the spring on the H-1B, on the F-1 student visas, where we got all their services reinstated through our litigation. We have subsequently filed in the fall, early fall, in late September, on the visa revocations. So the 150 of our clients sued to get their visas back, and right then the government shutdown hit, which then the government didn't answer during the required period. They got more time to answer, and then when their answer was due last week, they emailed me and said, "Hey, can we get more time?" And I said, no, we oppose more time, filed a brief. The court gave him more time. The court gave him 30 more days until I think it's March 3rd. I think it's March 3rd, March 1st, March 3rd, something like that, March 3rd, to answer our complaint. So sorry for all those on the visa revocation. We are stuck in the giant problem that are our immigration courts, because there's 5,000 other cases filed. And most of the U.S. attorneys are quitting, those at least that feel strongly about working for Trump. The next update was for DACA on litigation. So last week I mentioned, somebody mentioned to me that somebody had filed something in the DACA case. And what that was actually, that was a filing by the Catholic Church and different parts of the Catholic Church, urging the judge in Texas, urging the judge not to immediately revoke DACA in Texas, but in fact to have either a staged or delayed revocation of between 3 to 6 months, which would mean even if the judge orders that the end of DACA, that it wouldn't end right away. And they propose things like let it end for people when their work authorizations expire, let their licenses continue until they expire, but don't end it all at one time, because there's 90,000 people in Texas that have DACA and 220,000 that are eligible for DACA that don't yet have it, which is an insane number. And it basically argues, look, give the Texas people time to get out. Really, it's going to be disastrous. To lose 220,000 workers in Texas, that would be disastrous for Texas. But this is what they want, right? They want Texas to look like it's always looked. No, they don't. They want it to look whiter. That's what they want. So that's ongoing in DACA. The last last report on litigation today is on our 39 country lawsuits. These are not 39 different lawsuits. These are 2 different lawsuits. One for the USCIS and one against the Department of State. So as many of our plaintiffs in this case know, we had a call last Friday. We're having a call this week as well. I think it's on Friday at 6. An email supposedly has gone out. That's what my comms people told us. So hopefully that's true. And if not, you'll be getting it shortly, because you'll tell me you didn't get it, and then I'll email them and say, what the hell's going on? So we can talk more about the case with them. And we're also making some final updates on the Department of State suit, filing that today. Different kind of argument than the USCIS, very different approach to it, because USCIS is not just about the work stoppage, but it's also about the unlawful discrimination by countries, which is nationality discrimination is prohibited by law. It's prohibited by law. It's really quite clear. So that's the status update. The government has another 5 week. Finally get the math right. I think we filed this on the 6th, so they have until March 7th. The 28 days always screws me up. I think it's March 7th to respond, if that's not a weekend. Let me check what day March 7th is. March 7th is a Sunday, so they have until the 8th to respond to that lawsuit. We are imagining, and that's including, they have 21 days from the time of our PI to respond to the PI. So that PI was filed last week. So they have, I think it's February, I think what Zach told us on the preliminary injunction, they have an answer due, I think it's the 13th or the 16th, one of those 2 days. And then we'll have another week to respond to the reply, and then we'll ask for oral argument. The government may also file a motion to dismiss, which wouldn't shock us, and that's fine. They can file the motion to dismiss, and we can litigate it all at one time. What the judge may end up doing is turning our preliminary injunction into a motion for summary judgment. Could do that too. We did get our friend Curtis just sent us his discovery. Basically, he heard us ask for the administrative record, which we knew he was doing. And the administrative record is their internal memos, which talk about why they implemented this. And they had no legitimate reason. They just literally had no legitimate reason other than the president told us to. They were, because one Afghan guy went crazy and killed a couple soldiers or killed a soldier. Okay, I get it. That doesn't mean everybody from every country needs to be revetted nor delayed. It just doesn't. And it's certainly not discriminated against. That's highly illegal. So we've got that. That's ongoing. That's kind of our update on the lawsuits today. And of course, I'll take any questions that you have here. I'm not one to avoid answering questions. That's for sure. Let's talk about the H-1B lottery. So the H-1B lottery opens up on March 4th through the 19th. That lottery is for anybody who has a bachelor's degree or higher, whose employer is willing to sponsor them in the United States. As I mentioned earlier, the $100,000 fee does not apply to anybody who's changing status from one H-1B to another, or going into the lottery from a student visa or a visitor visa or other type of visa if you're changing status in the United States. So that lottery is $215. The more you get paid, the more chances you have to win the lottery, which is kind of stupid, but that's kind of what the Trump administration did. And that will start in a month. We'll be sending an email out to our clients who may be interested in doing that on our listserv. So if you want to get on our mailing list, just go to our website, immigration.net, and we'll send that out to you. And then the last thing I wanted to talk about today is something I saw today. And these are rumors of Trump being in favor of immigration reform, and that this is an ideal time for Trump to do it because the Democrats are ready to vote for it if they do it, while Trump would also get his enforcement money, which he's now apparently at risk. And this comes from Hugh Hewitt, who is kind of a conservative bastion, a mainstay, kind of a Trump whisperer, published an article on Fox News today about it. And basically he said, give everybody with DACA a green card for 5 years, or they call them a blue card. Give them a blue card that's renewable every 5 years, which I think is crap, by the way. I guess if you have a blue card, you could also get a green card through another way, which an employer would do that. And also giving green cards to people that have been here longer than X period of time, whatever that happens to be. Now, remember, Trump, for those DACA people, Trump earlier this year said big things in store for DACA this year, whatever that means. Nobody knows what that means, right? Because Trump just says stuff with literally nothing. And there's a lot of pressure now building on Trump to get rid of Stephen Miller out of the White House. You get Stephen Miller out of the White House, then immigration reform becomes a possibility. While Miller still has Trump's ear, Miller speaks to the worst parts of Trump. I don't see it happening. So we'll see. We'll keep our ear to the ground. We'll let people know what's going on. But I haven't seen anything. I just hear rumors. And we're here to report to you at least the rumors that we hear, even though they probably are full of baloney. Let's take some questions here today. By the way, you can always reach out to me if you need an appointment, you need to talk about your case. You just call 404-816-811. Set up an appointment. We do them by Zoom. For the most part these days, you can also email me. I answer. Everybody will tell you email. I always email you back. It's one of my things. I mean, if I'm OCD in any way, it's like I like a clean mailbox. So I'll always email back, probably too quickly, with answers that are too short, but that's kind of who I am. Let's take some questions here today, and some will be in Spanish, so I'll translate those into English as necessary. Word of that guy, 7810. I'm on withholding removal marriage within 10 years, pending I-130. Do you think the Calderon settlement is a good avenue? It's the only avenue I think that you have. So go and do it. If you live up in that circuit, go and do it. Belt Brees, good to see you, Belt Brees. Venom AFC, so AFC. You don't like the AFC, or you do like the AFC? Are you more of an NFC guy? I don't know. So on TikTok, the DACA Center for Clear on Travels. That is an interesting idea. I have not heard that. There's lots of false information. I don't know if you know this, but a lot of the stuff on TikTok is garbage. So I'm going to tell you, I don't know the answer to that. But my understanding is Clear is only for permanent residents and citizens. So as far as I know, you can't do that. I don't think you can. So I think that's false information. So I think it may be a lie on the TikTok channel. I'm not on TikTok for a reason, because it's all garbage. And now that it's Trump owned, I don't want to be anywhere near it. So you just have to follow me on the Twitter or on Facebook or Instagram, if whatever they put up for Instagram for me. But you still want to follow me, get on Twitter. Or here. You can always see me here. Word of that guy. Oh, we already asked that. Remember, you only have to ask once. Otherwise, I take you off. That's the rule. EB3, rest of the world, skilled priority date current. Document for the trial flight from Kenya. Emailed the NBC and consulate, got a direct reply. What are the next steps? I need to take your advice. So, first question. On the 75 country list, is Kenya on it? Let's see. Man, is Kenya on that list? So let's see. You're not on the list. So the question then becomes, you should be working through the National Visa Center. So my recommendation for you is, one, have a lawyer contact the National Visa Center for you and find out where your interview is. There's no way to rush a consulate. Most consulates are poorly understaffed at this point. But I would reach out to the National Visa Center and ask for their assistance, or have your lawyer reach out for you. Orlando Juve, hello, sir. Any bans or pause currently stopping or delaying NASA applications? Yeah, the 75 country ban. The 39 country, they're not naturalizing any of those people. So yeah, that's what's stopping if you're from one of those countries. Super C, good to see you. Everything is great here on our end. Any honor? Shout out to the lady fighting off ICE in Minnesota. Really began to throw in jail. So yeah, it's there's lots of brave, wonderful people in Minneapolis today standing up to the nonsense that ICE is pulling up there. They'll get them out of the city eventually. Hello, sir. Are they currently in a ban? You ready? Only ask once. Shaw, thanks for your H-1B fee update. On the healthcare sector, it's just awful. What this is doing is just 100% awful. So I hopefully win this case. File G325 biometrics for 14-year-olds on F2. Student dependent, but no update. What should I do the next step? I'm confused. Why did you randomly file a G325A for your 14-year-old on an F2? What update are you looking? I don't know what update you're looking. I'm sorry. I have no idea what you're doing here. Nothing. Give me more information. It's possible that I-130 for marriage interview don't ask security questions. Is it possible? Yeah, they skip questions. They're not supposed to, right? They're supposed to ask every single question, but we know they don't. Right? They look at you and they go, yeah, that guy's not from a country I have to ask security questions for. So yeah, it's possible. But you still answer them. They're still in the system, right? My mother has an entry that inspection. I understand she needs to cause her. Can her son? Sure, her son's going to petition for her. And then she's going to live out of the country for 10 years before she gets that green card. Unless she has a spouse or a parent that will sponsor a waiver for her. Hopefully that's clear. Mackenzie Deaver. I don't know who that is, Jose. Texas is a racist state, but I love her. You said it, not me. Do you think this DACA judge listed a false their plea that they filed? Well, I don't know. Is the judge Catholic? I don't think so. I'm glad you're listening, Angel. No, it's interesting. They asked for leave to file that brief back in November, and he didn't give them leave until last week when they filed it. So that's why it was filed late, because he's the one that delayed letting them file it. I don't know. Maybe he's looking for a way out. I don't know. You'd think he'd want to be remembered for doing good rather than doing evil. At least I would. Michigan, did my interview in September. My son sponsored me. I said everything's okay. My attorney is 4 months now. So what interview? At the USCIS or at a consulate? You got to give me context, my friend. LA-based immigration firm you recommend. Ana Luisa Padilla. If you're in LA and you have a DACA issue, Ana Luisa Padilla. She's great. You can trust her 100%. For someone appointed DACA, how should they prepare? Well, you should be, hopefully you've filed a year ago before your expiration. You should be calling the 800 number and finding out, or going online and chat with Emma and say, what's going on in my case? My DACA's expiring, whenever that is. My work permit's expiring. I really need this. That's what I'd be doing. Hello from my hometown, New Jersey. What is the odd that the pause will be extended until next year? I think there's a really high likelihood, unless it can get struck down. Really high likelihood. They're under no rush. They're using this as a reason not to adjudicate cases. They don't want legal immigration. Zuri Amato, question is, what can TPS for the Honduras show their employers to say they're expired? I'm extending. You print out from the USCIS.gov website that says this. In fact, that website tells you how to renew your I-9 using that exact process. So just go to the website and pull it down. Victor Gutierrez, any update for AP first-timers? No, we have not gotten an approval in the last 2 weeks. Which means we have cases pending now 13 months. We have 13-month cases pending. Yes. I know one of our other clients did get an emergency advance parole, though. So I know they're doing them this last week. Carmen Rosa Marzano. Buenas tardes. ¿Es verdad que las personas con residencia permanente si salen del país no pueden regresar? No. She's asking, is it true that somebody with a green card who leaves can't come back? No. Eso no es verdad. Es mentira, Carmen. What kind of garbage is this? Who is saying this nutty stuff? Man, get off of TikTok. Recommended immigration lawyer in Seattle area. Well, my favorite Seattle lawyer is Diane Butler. Diane is a really remarkable immigration lawyer, very aggressive, very smart, and I would go to Diane every day of the week and twice on Sundays if I had a question up there. Yeah, same question for TPS. How can you renew licenses? Well, let's take a look at the Honduras page, okay? This is a new trick that immigration, I heard, is doing. I didn't know they had done it for Honduras. Let's take a look at that page here. And what did they say? They said something snotty, right? No longer, all right, automatic employment. Where is their statement here? Automatic extension, expiration, blah, 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 blah. And it's extended per court order. Well, it's extended indefinitely then. So you give them this piece of paper, and it's extended indefinitely. That's what I would tell them. They're good. They're really awful people because the judge didn't put a date on it, right? That's why that's happening. But yeah, immigration is awful. That's what you do. And your employer can talk to an immigration lawyer and find that out. Have them call me. Happy to tell them. Will they be accepting DACA they applied before they stopped accepting? You mean, will they be adjudicating the DACA that have applied before they stopped accepting? And the answer is yes, they will be doing that. They've even affirmatively said they're going to be doing that. Antonio Pérez, abogado. Mi tío y yo fuimos víctimas de asalto. Él aplicó para la visa U 2016. Yo apliqué 17 y ya le aprobaron la visa concreta. Mi vida es 14. ¿Qué tan seguro es que aprueben la concreta mía? 100% lo vas a recibir. He's asking about his uncle and him were both victims of crime. They applied for U visas a year apart. His uncle's got it already. He doesn't. Will he get it? And the answer, yes, is he will get it. Nazir Ahmed. Nazir, good to see you. Just on consular processing or applied to AOS? Well, near as I can tell, it's applied to everything, which is why we sued them. At least they made it much harder to get visas. Paul McStew, good to see you. Boss man. Jose, is there a reason that DACA renewal are taking so long? It is intentional, but it's because they took people off that product line. So these are called product lines at USCIS, I-130s, I-45s, DACA, TPS, the product line. People assigned to do that. They took people off those product lines to do different things, like vetting refugees from 20 years ago. So that's not vetting you, it's vetting other people. So that's what's happening. The Texas decision doesn't have an effect yet, but that's going to make things even worse. Same thing is true for advanced parole, which is why at a certain point you just sue them, right? Why did the 2018 Trump immigration framework fail? What 2018 framework? There was never anything written by Trump to reform the immigration laws in 2018. But if there had been, that would have been stopped by the Republicans. The Republicans saw immigration as their most powerful issue, though they insisted that Trump not give it up. Remember, in 2024, Congress is ready to pass immigration reform as it pertained to the border, and Trump stopped them from doing it because he wanted the issue to campaign on. That's like on Twitter. Vanessa, good to see you. You're looking awesome as always. Ludi Payan, buenas tardes, abogado. Una pregunta, ¿cuál es la diferencia entre un orden de deportación y un hold de inmigración? Un orden de inmigración es de un juez de inmigración que lleve una prohibición de 10 años al ser deportado físicamente del país. Un hold de inmigración es de ICE que quieren detenerte después de su sentencia con el cárcel es cumplido. Boss, Irishman here. Irishman, Paul, 3 questions. What are you planning to file DV lawsuit? So great question. I have unfortunately been waylaid on other lawsuits. So I'm going to put together the FAQ this week, and I think the plan will be to file in late February. Chance of success, excellent, because they're not adjudicating cases. I don't even know what they're doing. But the reason the visa bulletin's not moving is because they're not adjudicating anybody. How can it move if they don't adjudicate anybody? Yeah, exactly. It's Trump hates the lottery. They hate the lottery, so we're going to have to sue them again. I asked last time about dual nationality, third country ban list. We updated his Peruvian passport on a current passport. Do you think that will continue processing us automatically? Hopefully. I mean, I'm not sure how much that is automatic and how much is not. Some of it may just be time. Mías Calderón, buenas tardes, abogado. Mi esposo tiene DACA. Mi hija ya tiene 22 años. ¿Puede permiso para salir del país si tiene una entrada legal para hacer el proceso? Yeah, so he predicado esto por años, Nehemías. ¿Dónde has estado? He's asking, if my kid's turning 21 and my spouse has DACA, can she apply for a travel document, come back and apply for a green card? Yeah. 500,000 people have done it. What are you waiting for? Hello? Can I still do advanced parole? Yes. Chances of $100,000 lawsuit win for Chamber of Commerce. I don't think the Chamber of Commerce is going to win their case. First of all, they don't even have oral argument in the Court of Appeals till mid-April. So nothing's going to happen there before the monies are due. We have a better chance of winning because we have a better case. Honestly, I think we have better lawyers. We have better facts. We have better clients. I think we're in good shape. Pray for us. We need good prayers, good thoughts. Abogado, buenas tardes. Si mi esposo le acaba de llevar la aprobación del perdón, ¿qué proceso sigue y cuánto tiempo hay que esperar para la cita en Juárez? Después del perdón, están tomando 18 meses para fijar una cita. Ten cuidado. Okay? 18 meses más. Y felicidades en la aprobación del perdón. So he had just gotten his approval for his I-601A waiver. How much time to get to Juarez for an interview? 18 months. What is the odds that the PI for the third countries get approved? Well, here's a great thing, Masa. I do not live in Las Vegas, and I do not gamble. So I don't know what the odds are. I know this. If we hadn't filed, the odds were 100% we were going to lose. And by winning, our chances are more than 0%. So there you go. I think we have a really great case, but I don't give odds. There isn't like some giant odds maker that looks at every immigration case. Here's the odds of these cases. That's just people telling you odds. They're just making stuff up. They have no idea. None. Hi, I'm from Mexico with prior date of 4/5/2001 and F3, which becomes current a couple months ago. Filed the green card since 2022. Wow, I would file a lawsuit if I were you. Ever? I would file a mandamus. File a lawsuit. I mean, they're just sitting on it, clearly. File a lawsuit. Hi, Chuck. How long is an interview in Turkey? It's for what visa? I mean, if it's a non-immigrant visa, just go to the wait times website, visa wait time, just Google it, and it'll tell you exactly how long it's taking for an appointment. For immigrant visa processing, after documentarily qualified, probably 3 months is the last numbers I saw. Adrianita Álvarez Romero. Tengo cita para tomar huellas. Es más seguro ir acompañado de mi abogado y no hay riesgo. Mira, el abogado no va a poder hacer nada. Váyase. She's worried she should take a lawyer to her fingerprinting interview. And I would say the lawyer can't stop anything from happening. So I would go without a lawyer. You need to go. Mireya Gonzalez submitted the FOIA through USCIS. They state no info for that info. What if I submitted the approximate date? So are you looking for your entry? USCIS will not have that. You have to do that through CBP, Customs and Border Protection. And you need to do an OBIM FOIA. That's how you need to do it. Isaac Abraham, why do you recommend employment sponsored consulate and not AOS with no unlawful presence? It's not that I recommend it, Isaac. So it's legally required. Legally, you can only adjust status through employment if you have status. That is like an H-1B visa. DACA is not a status. Therefore, you cannot adjust status. You have to consular process. It's all about the law. Vanita Patel, Esquire. I got an IFE for a police clearance for a 485. Really? Is that normal? No, that is 100% not normal. It's weird, in fact. So now you got police clearance from where? Your home country? Wow. I think I've seen that once or twice in the last 37 years. Maybe it's a new thing. Maybe you're cutting edge. Here we go. My mom applied for citizenship in October 2025. She's from Brazil. Can she still do it? Well, they won't adjudicate her. They're not going to adjudicate her. They might interview her, but they're not going to adjudicate her unless we win the lawsuit. I anticipate MPIP for your parent. Awesome. Thank you, Maria. Do that. Hola, abogado. ¿Qué cambiaría si los demócratas ganan la Cámara y el Senado? He's asking, what will happen in Congress if the Democrats win the House and the Senate? Great question. They're going to be under enormous pressure to pass immigration reform. But remember, in the Senate, you need 60 votes to pass immigration reform. That means you're going to need a handful, maybe 10 Republicans. So nothing, what will change? What will happen? Nothing unless Republicans are convinced they need to pass immigration reform. Okay. Will the TNU litigation's enrollment be extended as yes, it will. We don't have enough people to file, Sumit. So yes. Abogado, mi hermano fue detenido y tiene un hold de inmigración y él ya había sido deportado hace un par de años que recibe un castigo por esto. Tiene 2 meses en la cárcel federal. So her brother was detained. He was ordered deported and actually deported 2 years ago. Came back apparently. Yeah, Ludi, no hay nada que puede hacer por él. Va a ser deportado. Lo siento. For someone whose work permit has expired, what is the voucher if the judge does not grant? I would sue. I would sue individually on a mandamus. I really love the U.S. too. Ami Pot, good to see you. It's been a while. What do you think of the judge deciding the H-1B case? A fair guy, fair judge, good judge. Just, he's fair. That's all I can tell you. Andre Kuna, got my green card this week. Woo! Congratulations, Andre. Well deserved. Now go out there and make us proud. I have a deportation order from 2011 and have DACA. Do you think it's possible to open the case? Well, only if you have an I-130 approved from a spouse. Otherwise, I wouldn't waste your time at this point. You should have done this under Biden when they were approving them all the time for no reason whatsoever. Now, you got to have a reason. So that means you have to have a marriage petition approved. Nazir, after 545, I heard that you cannot extend a DS 2019. What are your thoughts? Well, I don't know. What are your thoughts? Did you file an adjustment? Then what do you need the DS 2019 for? I'm confused. Elizabeth Rojas, Isaac, I'm not eligible for ES either. Yeah, there you go. Hola, buenas tardes. Mi esposo se hizo ciudadano. ¿Cuánto tarda para arreglarme? Ahorita son 5 años si entraste ilegal. She's asking, how long can my now U.S. citizen spouse take to, how long will it take to fix her status? It takes about 5 years. Una petición de esposa, año y medio. Marriage petition, 1 year, 18 months. Un perdón, 2 años. Perdón, a pardon under a waiver under 601A. And 3, if you're from Mexico, una entrevista en Juárez, 18 meses. And if you're Mexico, 18 months to get an interview in Juárez, about 5 years. And amicus curiae was filed to ask the judge. I know, I talked about it already. I already talked about it. The current delay period would be after the decision is made. No, that's up to the judge to decide. That's what they're trying. That's why they're trying to get him to make it as long as possible. As DACA recipient, can we travel by plane? Yes, you can. Just with your driver's license. I would carry your DACA card too, FYI. Oh, geez, you got home. Go home. Have a good day, Anka. Carla Magana. I also have a Visa U pending. I received my C-14 letter saying that I'm waiting the waiting list. Great. That doesn't mean anything in response to your spouse sponsoring you. So it's really a question of, do you have an I-130 approved? Hola, abogado. Tengo proceso consular EB3 skills. Soy de Honduras, residente permanente en Colombia. La pausa de esta parte no me afecta. No te afecte. Pero podría afectar a mi esposo. No afectaría a su esposa tampoco porque ella es contigo. So he's asking, he's a Honduran, Guatemala, Colombian citizen. Colombia is affected by the pause. Honduras is not. He's going to apply for his green card. He's not affected. Will his wife be, who's Colombian? The answer is no, because she'll be treated as him, or should be. ¿Es cierto que ya no hay fianzas para los que detiene ICE? No, this is mentira. What's the update? So is there any more bonds with ICE? Of course there's bonds with ICE. What's the update with DACA? I already talked about the budget. You can scroll back, Andrean, right to the beginning. Hola from Arizona. Any good? Oh, well, we're in Arizona. If you're in Phoenix, you want to go to Yasser Sanchez. Yasser is amazing. Amazing. If you're in Tucson, you go to Mo Goldman. Mo is the man in Tucson. Okay. And I actually went to law school in Arizona. I'm an Arizona lawyer, but I don't practice there anymore. I practice in Georgia and all over the country, really. Can loss of medical should be used as an argument for irreparable harm? Sure. If you've got a medical condition, absolutely. Honey Moreno, hola, mi esposa, si hizo ciudadano, ¿cuánto tiempo se está? Yeah, you already asked that. Yeah, she already asked this question. Pregunta una vez, only one time. Good afternoon. Any news on DACA? Yes, I gave an update already. Carmen Sanchez, los residentes pueden salir del país. Yes, residents pueden salir del país. Residents can leave the country. Oh my goodness, where are you getting this up? Get off of TikTok. What's Judge Hannon's predicted? I gave up. I thought it would be done by the end of January at the latest. I gave up. Maite, Cook, un hermano puede ayudar un hermano puede ayudar en tu proceso si tienes dos entradas. No. The cost of joining the U-Visa lawsuit, I don't remember. But you go to the U-Visa website and it'll show you. No one is speaking about DV-26 under pause. Upcoming updates. I think they're pausing it. That's why we're going to be suing on it shortly. Gracias por su trabajo. Gracias, Carmen. It seems at this point they will just ban the whole world. That's what they want to do, Shah. That's what they want to do. That's their plan. If you've been watching me for any length of time, I've talked about that since Trump got elected. That's their plan, to stop legal immigration. That's what they want to do. Do you do the Ninth Circuit? I do. I'm licensed in the Ninth Circuit. My husband's in the process of appeal. Deportation was denied and dismissed. 23rd, they have 30 days to appeal. Well, give us a call for an appointment and we'll see what we can do to help you. Just call 404-816-8611. Nancy, yo apliqué con ustedes para acción diferida para papás con hijos discapacitados. Ya casi se tiene que renovar. Si se llega a negar, se pondrá orden de protección. Sí. Debes hablar con la oficina en una consulta personal. We filed and got her deferred action for a handicapped child. She's wondering what she should do now, and the answer is you should call the office for an appointment so we can talk about it. Curtis is planning to file a lawsuit about DV. I think it's great because we're going to file one too, because more than one lawsuit is always important. Hola, buenas tardes. Mi esposo es... If you win 100,000 H-1B, it would be a class action. Yes, it'll be a class action. It'll apply. It would not apply. Who it wouldn't apply to? It would not apply to members of the Chamber of Commerce. So ours is not our class action. Our class excludes Chamber of Commerce members. Oops, should have joined us. Greetings from New York. Once I receive the 797, can my job use the notice? No, you need the actual document, unfortunately. I currently have TPS Honduras, AP, my son in the Air Force for 21, but I have an administrative case closed. What do I do? You wait until your son turns 20. Why don't you reopen your case? I would just wait till April next year and file a motion to redocket the case and terminate it. Maybe even I'd probably even do it I would actually do it in May or June to redocket the case and terminate it because you're eligible to adjust status. That's what I would do. If a DACA recipient was sent to juvenile detention and charged with a misdemeanor as a teenager, should they get a lawyer to make sure it was expunged or could they do it themselves? I don't know. It depends on the state you're in. Reason to deny a green card. It should not be a reason to deny a green card. Expungement doesn't matter for immigration purposes, by the way. Hola, buenas tardes. Mi esposo se hizo... honey, I'm going to have to ban you. Ya te voy a cancelar, honey. Lo siento, honey. Ya eres borrada, bloqueada. Lo siento. Y negada. Why are DACA bot being respected and still deported? Where DACA bot? I have no idea what that means. What's a DACA bot? DACA not being respected? DACA is respected. They're not deporting anybody with DACA. But if you have DACA and you commit a crime, You're going to lose your DACA, and then they're going to deport you. There are no DACA recipients being deported. My husband and I have DACA, travel and advance parole. If I use it for 21, how long does it take? Interview would be in the United States, and depends on where you are, but usually between 6 and 18 months. It's how long that normally takes. All right. Mi esposo si tiene que irse a reproducir, se pone el lunes del año, él tiene hasta 5 de mayo. Mi pregunta es posible que puede ir este mes. Si tiene que ir en la fecha. Debe ir más cerca a mayo. So her husband has a report date before May 5th, May 6th. She's wondering if she'd go early. And I'd say, no, you shouldn't go early. And you should bring a lawyer with you. For 85-year-old, wow. Out of status versus unlawful presence on H-1B. Well, it doesn't really matter. If, out of status is not unlawful presence. They're different things. Only unlawful presence gets you bars. All right, Edgar, what's the current time frame to adjust if your grandfather on 245I? I have DACA. Probably 12 to 24 months, depending on where you live in the United States. Does my military probate be approved before I can do it, or I can do it now? Now, I know I need it before I start the motion to reopen. You can do it now. If your child's 21, do it now. Yo apliqué para la acción deferida para papas con hijos. Es la tercera vez. Ya casi nos toca renovar si nos negaron. No existe tal cosa. Acción para hijos. Nancy. Estoy pensando en otra cosa. Debes hacer una cita para que podamos charlar de los riesgos, Nancy. Nazir Ahmed, my DS 2019 is valid up till June 30th, 2026. I filed AOS on my EAD until 2025. In this case, I didn't get my EAD and a decision. Can my sponsor extend my DS 2019? I don't think they can. No. Good lawyers in Chicago. Carlina Tapia Ruano. Carlina Tapia Ruano in Chicago is excelente. Can we still apply for a green card? Elba, I have no idea. You didn't give me any context. Wendy G's, do I need an appointment set up at G28 with you? Yes, you need an appointment. Give us a call. How confident are you that the judge will rule on DACA this month? I'm not confident anymore at all, Angel. Okay, I have no idea what Hannon's doing. None. I got nothing. Lorena Leva, to apply for some type of work permission, what are the probabilities of getting denied or deported if I ever had a visa and I have U.S. citizen children? What's the basis of the work permission? I don't understand. It has to be a legal basis. If you came in illegally and have kids, you don't get a work permit for that. That doesn't exist. Okay. Mr. Baxter. I am not Mr. Baxter. What is wrong with you people? I am way better looking than him and far more mature. Really. My spouse is going to interview for a visa and we got somebody approved. Then talk to your lawyer and they'll prepare you. We prepare our clients for the interview. We tell you what questions to be prepared for, what documents to bring. Talk to your lawyer. Jorge Levis. Hola, abogado. Tengo VAWA pendiente. También tengo un orden de deportación desde 2005. Me le dieron en Texas. ¿Será que puedo hacer algo con mi recibo de VAWA? No con su recibo de VAWA. Espera hasta que sea aprobado. It's been 6 months since I applied for EAD through 45. I've DACA in it. What can I inquire now? Inquire now. I mean, they should be giving that to you if you have DACA. Mr. Baxter, what would be better to apply for AP before my residency? I'm married U.S. Army veteran. Why don't you just do parole in place? It's easier. Probably faster at this point. Do parole in place. Hector, thank you. Oh, you're welcome. My wife says the same thing. Thanks for being the best. También a los de DACA, si los redujo el permiso de trabajo a 18 meses. Huh? No lo han hecho. They're not reducing work permits to 18 months for DACA recipients. Oh my God, what is wrong with you people? Mi esposo entró solo una vez a USA hace 3 años. Si soy ciudadano, él tiene que salir del país para arreglar y pedir un perdón antes de salir. Llámanos para una cita, CC. Sonny Gonzalez, I'm waiting for my parole in place to be approved. Can I submit 45 at the same time once? Yes, absolutely. If I file them together. Will filing for bankruptcy under Chapter 7 affect your adjustment of status process? I've never seen it affected. There's no question about bankruptcy. I am from a 39-country pause inside the U.S. Legally, no criminal, but can I file mandamus with you? Yeah, if you want to. Absolutely. But it can be very expensive because we're going to have to challenge the same thing that we're doing in litigation. It's going to be expensive to do it on your own, but absolutely. Daniel Cajuete, see, still waiting on I-130 approval about 18 months. Adds, yeah, I mean, you don't have any, there's no downside to doing it. Maybe it'll shake them up. Immigration news can't wait a whole week. Z could summarize you in a couple minutes when it's in Spanish week. Just a suggestion. I don't know what Z is. My deportation order was dismissed. Do you recommend for the judge to decree my 45? Oh, USCIS. Always USCIS. You want 2 bites at the apple. Si tienes 2 entradas y 2 agarradas en la frontera y te quedaste más de un año en el país, ¿hay algo de que se puede hacer? Mi esposo es ciudadano americana. Ok. ¿Quedaste un año entre entradas o desde la última vez con 2 enseguida agarradas? Es lo que tenemos que clarificar. Thank you for all you do. Quick question. If a child under 20 joins the military, no, they have to wait till they're 21 to sponsor their parents, but they can sponsor the parole in place right away and you get a work permit. Any updates on DACA? Yes. Scroll back to the beginning and you'll see them. From the 39 country pause inside the U.S., you already asked that. Oh, family passed away recently. I'm sorry. Can I file my name as to go be with family for the loss of a family member? I'm really sorry that happened. You can. It doesn't mean you'll be approved. It'll be very expensive. It's still going to take months. Not going to happen overnight. F2A priority date, September 2023. I-130 not approved. Not a surprise. Not a surprise. I mean, they're taking 2 years, 3 years, 4 years on those cases. Should sue them. Torres, buenas tardes. Mi esposo le acaban de aprobar su visa U. Ahora tiene que 3 años para la residencia. Le pueden no pueden deportar. Well, pueden arrestar con la visa U. Ya tiene status, no pueden deportarlo. What is your advice for doctors if we're still new, but it requires while still waiting? You need to call the 800 number or go onto the website, call your senator, call your congressman, raise hell. It works. Ana Pérez, tuve un hijo nacido aquí mientras tuve visa de turista. Ya se me quedé. Podré arreglar cuando él cumple 21 años. Sí. Good lawyers in New Jersey. I would use David Pollack in Newark. David Pollack, Pollack. Immigration lawyers in St. Louis. Yeah. Jim Hacking's in St. Louis, I think. Jim Hacking, I think, is there. He's great. I mean, really, great lawyer. Good lawyers in Ohio. Where in Ohio? You got David Leopold, who's fantastic in Cleveland. You've got Rob White in Columbus, who's also great. Hello, Mr. Cook, requesting an update on the F1 visa litigation lawsuit. I didn't get any update on this. Well, then you got a problem because we sent an email to all our clients. You should check your junk mail. And I already gave an update on it at the beginning of this show. So scroll back and you'll see it. If a decision occurred to where doctors would lose their in the state at some point where they still would reside full-time, correct. They still have DACA. They can stay there. They just can't work there legally. A U.S. citizen, husband was deported. We are both in the U.S. now. I think we can work on. Not if he came back, because then he's got a permanent bar. Thank you you're welcome, Nazir. It's my pleasure. Il Toss, running to the end here. Tengo 22 años. Mi madre vivió unos años aquí. Luego se fue y intentó regresar y la deportó de la frontera de 2001. La puedo pedir para que venga a los Estados Unidos. Al mismo tiempo pedir a mi padre que vive aquí desde 2000. Entró ilegal por la frontera. Su padre no puede ayudar hasta que él vive afuera del país por 10 años. Y su mami tiene que ver por qué fue deportada. Llámanos por una cita y te ayudamos. Sorry in advance for calling you. Do you recommend consular process? Child over 21, spousal beneficiary has green card. Right? What choice do you have? You can't get a green card here if you came in that way. That's not how it works. I just lost my place. Where are you? There you are. Yo apliqué para la ciudadanía y no me han respondido. Paciencia. I applied for citizenship and I haven't heard anything. Patience. I'm from one of the 39 countries paused and I'm inside the U.S. Family member paused away. You already asked that question. I already answered it. Why would you answer it again? I'll have to block you. Hope it's not here again because I'll block you. If a person is applying to adjust status from DACA to permit through a U.S. citizen child who's 21, what does immigration review in order to approve the petition? They just check that it's your child and the child can afford to pay your welfare if you get on it. That's it. Señor abogado, una pregunta, ¿ya pudieron hacer algo con la demanda de la visa? No, porque nadie más se unieron. Les falta litigantes. Debbie Perez, thanks for always answering the question. My family looking for a good lawyer in Fort Lauderdale. That would be Jeff DeVore. Jeff DeVore is amazing. DEVORE. I think he's out of the country. Be back next week. Doc with no EP. You don't be scared. There's no risk in going. Let's do it. Deportation order. That can be fixed. All of that's fixable. Why are some DACA getting detained? I don't know of any DACA who's been detained that doesn't have a criminal charge. Anthony, specifics. Don't just make stuff up. I'm 22 years old. You already asked that question. Acabo de obtener mi residencia. Puedo pedir a mi esposo. Sí. There are no updates on DACA applications. Correct. Other than what I said. I can't scroll back. You will. You can go to the YouTube channel and then watch it later and go to the beginning on YouTube. I have joined your lawsuit. Pause. Can I file my name? No. If you're already in the lawsuit, you only get to sue once, Masa. Kenya Escobedo, great lawyers in Houston. Yeah, Foster. You want to talk to Joe Perez at Foster Global. Joe is fantastic. Likelihood of your lawsuit overseas and succeeding compared to the U.S. Ben, I think we're going to succeed on both of them. Otherwise, I wouldn't waste my time doing them. I don't have time to waste. Gracias, abogado, por toda la información. Dios le bendiga. Y lo ha hecho. Mi hijo tiene DACA y está esperando su Advance Pro. ¿Puede aplicar por la lotería de visas? No. Si obtuvo su DACA después de 18 y medio, no. Antes, sí. Hola, abogado. ¿Qué opinión tengo en hijo en Army? Pero tengo una deportación por ausencia y no se puede hacer nada. Good immigration lawyer in South Carolina, Greenville. I think you want to talk to Jerry Chapman, Chapman. Jerry Chapman. I think he's in Greenville. Hola, señor abogado. Un abogado bueno en Maryland. Maryland. Yo usaría, I would use Ava Banach. Yo usaría Ava Banach in DC. Ella es excelente. Es cerca de Maryland. Ella es excelente. Is selling stuff legal when moving out? Yeah, you can sell anything you want. ¿Hay alguna fecha límite para aplicar por la visa U si fuiste víctima de crimen? Por algunos condados sí, otros no. Depende en el condado. ¿Cuánto tiempo es el castigo por entrar a UCE sin documentos? Estaría arreglando por mi matrimonio. 10 años, pero su esposo puede pedir un perdón. ¿Cómo aplicar por la lotería de visas? No puede. Es en octubre. Ya perdiste esto. María Beltrán. Hola. Mi prima entró como refugiada. My cousin entered as a refugee. Les dieron que hablaron con el juez y le dieron que tenía que irse a otro país. Tiene que apelar, pero que ellos no hacen apelaciones. Pero ella nunca vio al juez. ¿Qué puede hacer? Llame por una cita. Call for an appointment. I mean, clearly, your lawyers did not explain to you what was going on. Call for an appointment. Would it be best to go back to Mexico and apply for a nursing visa? I have no other way of applying for AOS. Well, I don't know. What is your current status? I mean, I can't tell you to leave the country if I don't know more about you. This is why we do appointments. Do you recommend as a doctor to study in a STEM field and try employer sponsored for F1 STEM? Absolutely. If you got your DACA before 18 and a half. Would you recommend to apply for AP with a final order? Yes, absolutely. 100% every day of the week and twice on Sundays. How long is AP taking? Well, at least 13 months because those are our cases right now. Good morning, lawyer in Phoenix. That would be Yasser Sanchez. My son, DACA was revoked because of arrest. Everything can be done. Well, if it's been revoked for less than a year, he can reapply for DACA. More than a year, he can reapply for DACA when it reopens. Hola, no puedo mandar mi pregunta. I don't know why. Any good lawyers in Raleigh, North Carolina? Yes, that would be Lynn Calder. Lynn Calder, Calder. Any good lawyers in Tennessee? Me. This is where I am right now. I'm in Tennessee. You know, Tennessee is a big-ass state. It takes 11 hours to drive from one end up by the Motor Speedway all the way down to Memphis. So where in Tennessee? Otherwise, we do work in Tennessee. ¿Es recomendable aplicar a la visa U en esos tiempos? Sí, califica. DHS spokesperson said on NBC that DACA is self-deport. Tricia Loughlin is a joke. She is a joke of a human being. She is soulless. You can tell her I said that. I don't care. She's soulless. She cares about nobody but herself. She's greedy, manipulative, and really the kind of person you don't want to be around. There you go. Do you process any Canada work? I do not. But if you want a Canadian work permit, you need to talk to BJ Caruso, Barbara Jo Caruso in Toronto. She's fantastic. Any updates on DACA? Scroll back on YouTube and you'll see it. DACA obtained it before 18. Well, you're good to go then. Any update on DACA? People in Texas? Nope. Do you think the Venezuelan asylum claims are going to get all mass denied? Well, they're going to get all denied. They won't be mass denied. They will all be denied, however. We currently have 4 individuals with DACA. One of them asks, what options are available if I provide an incorrect to you regarding my date of entry? Well, when you renew it, you just explain that your lawyer screwed up on your first entry information and give the right information. Likelihood of Haiti TPS taking up by SCOTUS, pretty high, I think. They shouldn't, but it's pretty high. Yo como ciudadana puedo pedirle el perdón a mi esposo por entrar sin documentación. Sí. Mi esposo tiene un hijo en la Navy. ¿Puede ella aplicar para Interpro? Ella entró ilegal. Sí. So they're asking, can a child in the Navy apply for them? Yes, if they entered illegally. Yes, I can help with that. I can. It doesn't matter where you are. Our clients are all over the country. Mi hijo tuvo cita por matrimonio 10 días atrás en Atlanta. Todavía no lo contestaron. Está dentro de países que pagan de visas. Ella aplica para que los... Yeah, I mean, son congeladas hasta que ganamos la litigación. Her son was one of the 75 countries interviewed 10 days ago in Atlanta. Going to have to wait till we win the lawsuit. Apliqué VAWA Mayo 24, 25 me mandaron mi Social Security work card. AP por 5 años. While I wait for mi abuelo, dice, está casado. How are you applying for VAWA if you're married to a U.S. citizen? I don't understand that. That seems fraudulent. Any good lawyers in Vegas? Yes, Peter Ashman, great lawyer in Vegas. And then finally, what is the cost of the AP? The government charges you $630 when you apply and $1,000 when you come back. As for me, never talk about money here. That's why we have appointments. And no más, vaya al principio, Roberto. So that's our questions for today. Thank you, everybody, for tuning in. Remember, if you would like to make an appointment, all you got to do is 404-816-8611. Make an appointment, and they're happy to help you. We'll do them by Zoom. It's great. No need to come to the office or battle Atlanta traffic, even if you're... Why would you want to drive in Atlanta traffic if you didn't have to? You can also email me, answer all my questions by email, ccook@immigration.net. And, of course, I'm on the Twitter machine. You can follow me there. Till next week, everybody have a fantastic week. This is Chuck Cook here at Cook Baxter. Take care. Bye-bye.